Hey y'all, so you're thinking about moving to DFW, or maybe you're already here, and you're wondering what surprises are waiting for you as a homeowner. Well, buckle up, grab that awesome cowboy hat, because Texas has a few quirks that can catch new homeowners off guard. From watering your house to dodging hail the size of golf balls. In this video, I'm sharing 10 things that surprise new DFW homeowners, ranking them least to most likely to shock you. Let's jump right in. Starting off at number 10. It's not too shocking if you're familiar with urban sprawl, but still funny how one street can mean a new zip code, police department, or school district. In DFW, you can drive maybe 10 minutes and you're in a whole new city, each with its own rules, taxes, and even school districts. Crossing one street might mean a new zip code. It's like state hopping without leaving the Metroplex. In DFW, city lines blur, often literally. You can suddenly find yourself in a completely different city with its own vibe, amenities, and even different property taxes or schools. Take the intersection of Highway 121 near Stacy Road. That's where Allen, McKinney, and Frisco all meet. 1 minute you're grabbing a latte at a Frisco coffee shop, then you're driving through a McKinney neighborhood, and before you know it, you're at the Allen Premium Outlets. Lifestyle-wise, each suburb has its own personality. Frisco is known for its sports teams, huge shopping centers, and brand new developments. McKinney is all about historic downtown charm, tree-lined streets, and family-friendly parks. Allen strikes a balance with top-rated schools, great dining, and plenty of green space. Newcomers are often shocked at how quickly the landscape and even the feel of a neighborhood can change, sometimes with just a single left turn. If you're interested in knowing more about Allen and McKinney, check out our Sniffing Out the Suburbs series. It's more for your pet's perspective, but filled with valuable information nonetheless. Now, if you're moving here from out of state, you might think bugs are just bugs, but here they've got some serious personality and size. First up, crickets. In the fall, these little guys put on a concert that can seriously drown out your TV or even your own conversations. They're everywhere, fields, yards, and even sometimes sneaking into your house. And not just a few, we're talking thousands of chirping, hopping critters everywhere. Don't be scared. It's not that they'll necessarily be all over the ground in your house, but you're going to see them all over, and may have to take some preventative measures if you're bug phobic. Now let's talk mosquitoes. These aren't your average backyard buzzers. In North Texas, they grow big enough to be noticeable from across the yard, and they're persistent. If you're sitting outside on a summer evening, have spray and or lemongrass ready. And then the fire ants. These little red landmines hide in your yard, ready to sting if you accidentally step on their mound. But it's not all bad news. We also get lightning bugs. Anyone relocating from other states in the southeast already knows they light up in summer nights like little fairies. All right, y'all, here's a surprise you probably didn't expect in the middle of suburbia. Bobcats. Yep, I said bobcats, exactly like the kind you'd see in the wild. Here in North Texas, especially around greenbelts, creeks, and those nice wooded neighborhoods, bobcats are just part of the scenery. And no, they're not here to hunt your family dog, but they're definitely around, and you shouldn't leave any small pets outside unmonitored for a long period of time. Before you start packing your bags to head back north, don't worry. Bobcats are super shy. They'd rather avoid you than pick a fight. Think of them like your quiet neighbor you'll hardly ever see. They usually come out at dawn and dusk, kind of like the local coffee crowd, and they love to hunt rabbits and small rodents. Don't leave pet food outside or unsecured trash. That's like ringing the dinner bell. And keep your small pets in at night. Bobcats are mostly harmless, but let's not tempt fate. So while seeing a bobcat in your neighborhood might seem crazy at first, it's just part of life here in North Texas. And hey, it's kind of cool to say you live somewhere that's wild at heart. One thing that really surprises new homeowners here in North Texas, especially if you're moving from places with milder storms, is how often we get power surges caused by lightning. Now, it's not just about the big lightning bolts you see flashing across the sky. When lightning strikes nearby, it sends out an electrical pulse that can travel through power lines right into your house. The sudden spike in electricity is called a power surge, and it can cause all kinds of issues, from flickering lights to, in worst cases, fried electronics or even tripped circuit breakers. Don't worry, there are ways to prevent problems with your electronics. You can install whole house surge protectors to stop problems like that from ever occurring. It's not mandatory, most people don't and never have an issue. But if you're worried about it, a whole house surge protector could be something you consider. Here's the thing, These power surges happen pretty regularly during storm season in some areas, especially in spring and summer when we get more thunderstorms. If you've ever noticed your lights dimming or your internet router suddenly rebooting when a storm rolls in, it's probably a surge. It's not dangerous if your home's electrical system is set up right, but it can be frustrating. That's why investigating in quality surge protectors is a smart move. Plug in your sensitive electronics, like your computer, TV, or gaming system, into these, and they'll help absorb the shock before it damages your gear. If you're buying a home here, it's worth asking about the electrical system and considering this upgrade. It's a small step that can save you big headaches and inexpensive repairs down the road. Another thing that might catch you off guard as a new homeowner in North Texas is the sound of tornado sirens. Maybe you look outside, see clear blue skies with no clouds anywhere, and wonder what in the world is happening. Well, most cities in the Metroplex test their tornado sirens once a month. It's usually on the first Wednesday of the month, so you get used to it, but the first time you hear it, it might give you a jump. Now, if you're in Frisco, heads up, they test sirens every single week. That's right, every week on the same day, it's like a reminder that tornado season is no joke. The reason for these tests is to make sure that if there's ever an actual tornado warning, the sirens will be working perfectly to alert anyone. But let's be clear, if it's the regular test day and there's no severe weather, it's probably just a test. Still, always a good idea to check your local weather app or the city's website so you know if it's just a drill or something serious. And keep in mind, they can also be triggered purely by strong winds, which makes sense as a tornado does come with those as well. Just know that it doesn't always mean a tornado was spotted. It might seem a little over the top at first, but it's a lifesaver in tornado season. If you're moving here from out of state, don't panic when you hear the siren. Just be aware of the schedule and stay weather savvy. I have an uncle who's from California and swears that he'd much rather have an earthquake than a tornado. Most Texans will tell you why. An earthquake could decimate a whole, city, whereas tornadoes are usually a pretty small straight line path. Some of them as few as one house, 10 in a row, might get hit, but not a whole neighborhood. So pick your poison. A lot of areas have different natural disasters. Yes, Texas does occasionally see some tornadoes, but we don't see a ton of them, and there are many Texans who have never seen a tornado. Another surprise that can catch DFW homeowners off guard, especially if you're coming from a place where electricity works just fine all the time without a second thought, is that here in Texas, every summer, we get these official power grid warnings, sometimes called ERCOT warnings, and they might leave you scratching your head. Texas has its own power grid, separate from the rest of the United States. This is why Texans sometimes get power alerts or outages others don't, especially in extreme weather. It's a unique quirk that shows how big and independent Texas really is. Just know that with the hot weather in Texas, there'll be a lot of ACs running, a lot of strain on the grid, and while this doesn't happen every day or even every week, there are times with peak heats where we might get a power grid warning. Here's what happens. During the hottest days, everyone cranks up the AC at the same time and the power grids can get overloaded. That's when ERCOT, the organization that manages the Texas electric grid, issues a warning asking everyone to conserve energy. You'll see messages on your phone, social media, and even on the news saying stuff like set your thermostat a few degrees higher or avoid using major appliances between 3 and 7 p.m. Now, for some folks, that's no biggie, but if you're not used to it, it can feel like a big deal. The good news, these are mostly cautionary reminders, not rolling blackouts or any major problems. But it's definitely something to be prepared for. And yes, sometimes, very rarely, we'll have rolling blackouts in extreme cases. But ERCOT tries to avoid that by asking everyone to help out. Many Texans will tell you they've never even been a part of a rolling blackout. Think of it as sharing AC with your entire neighborhood. A little adjustment here and there, like closing the blinds, using ceiling fans, and skipping the oven for dinner, can make a big difference. And hey, your pets will thank you too, because no one wants a hot house in Texas. Bottom line, summer power grid warnings are part of life here. They're just a heads up to be a good neighbor and keep your home cool without overstressing. They're just a heads up to be a good neighbor and keep your home cool without overloading the system. So when that warning pops up, just remember, it's Texas. We're all in this together. Okay, let's talk about something that surprises a lot of homeowners moving to DFW and even those that already live here. Solar panels on the roof. You'd think, hey, Texas has tons of sunshine, so solar panels are a no-brainer, right? Well, not so fast. Sure, Texas is a sunny place, and solar panels can help offset electricity costs, but there's a catch. Unlike California or New York, where electricity is super expensive, Texas actually has some of the lowest energy rates in the country. That means the savings from solar might not be as dramatic here as you expect, and it'd take a lot longer to recoup the cost. And with the deregulated energy market, you can often shop around for cheaper rates without needing to install a single panel on your roof. Now, this may not be true for every neighborhood, so you'll want to check before you buy your house. Some are in areas such as a co-op that only have one option for power, although these might not be bad deals either. Sometimes the co-ops run at pretty cheap rates, rebate back any profits over a certain amount. Another thing that surprises newcomers, solar panels aren't maintenance free. You've got to think about cleaning them. Texas dust storms, pollen, bird droppings can all affect their efficiency, not to mention hail. Because let's face it, some things really are bigger in Texas, and hail can damage your panels if you're not careful. And let's not forget about the resale factor. Some buyers love solar panels, but others see them as a potential headache, especially if there's a lease involved. You'll want to know, are the panels owned outright? Are you paying a lease to a solar company every month? That can definitely affect your home's marketability. If you're expecting to stay in your home for the next 10, 20, 30 years, okay, you might start considering it. The longer you're there, the more you can save. But buyers won't really want to pay the lease. So just make sure you understand what would happen if I did move out in the next 5 or 10 years and had a lease or still had payments or a loan on my solar panels. Lastly, you don't want that loan balance or lease balance to be taken out of the proceeds of your sale. So make sure you find out what happens if I sell my home sooner than I thought I was going to. So while solar panels can be a cool addition, especially if you're all about going green or going to be in your home an extended period of time where you know they're going to be paid off and generating electricity for years to come after that. They also, though, could not be a slam dunk here in DFW due to energy prices. Make sure you do the math, check your roof's condition, maybe check with insurance, find out what would be covered, and talk to multiple pros before making the leap. And by pros, I don't just mean solar panel experts. Talk to your realtor and find out, hey, what's going on? Because over time, we may see them bring more resale value. If you don't check all this out in advance, you might just end up with a high-tech roof ornament instead of a money saver. Number 3, endless construction. Seriously, it feels like every road and neighborhood is always a work in progress. Well, here's the deal. DFW is one of the fastest growing metro areas in the country. We're talking millions of people moving here every year, which means we got to build. New roads, schools, homes, and everything that comes with growth. Yeah, it can be a pain, detours, traffic jams, and some extra noise, but it's also a sign that the area is booming. More jobs, better amenities, and lots of opportunities for homeowners and renters alike. So yeah, construction might be consistent, but it's the price we pay for living in one of the most exciting and fastest growing places in the country. Hang in there, better roads and neighborhoods are on their way. If you're new to DFW, you might be thinking, is there a finish line in sight? Short answer, not really. It just seems like construction's always ongoing everywhere in the Dallas area. Everywhere you look, from highways to neighborhoods, construction crews are hard at work. Why? Because DFW is growing faster than a jackrabbit on espresso. We've got new families moving in every day, and everyone needs a new place to live, work, shop, and play. You might be surprised to hear that DFW's population is exploding. We're adding more than 100,000 people a year. That means we need more schools, more hospitals, more grocery stores, and oh yeah, more places to get your tacos. It's not just homes either. The roads, parks, dog parks, trails, all the stuff that makes life awesome. Here's the kicker. Even when a new development is finished, the next one is already breaking ground right next door. It's like playing construction whack-a-mole. Now that could be a reason why you look at an area that's more developed and has less construction versus an area that has newer developments, new homes going in everywhere, new streets going in everywhere. You're definitely going to see more construction in newer, still developing areas. But don't kid yourself. There's construction even in the older, more developed areas. It just may be a little less frequent. And let's talk about the roads. Texans love their cars, especially trucks. And that means we need wide state highways to get from place to place. So buckle up, because orange barrels are just a part of life. Here's a little secret about Texas. We love Texas. And that love shows in the way our communities grow. Slowly, but with a whole lot of pride and excitement. An H-E-B opening, it's basically the event of the season. People come out, celebrate, and yes, stock up on queso, brisket, and homemade tortillas. And Buc-ee's, well, it's not just a gas station, it's a Texas institution. People road trip just to stop at a Buc-ee's for the giant snacks, pristine bathrooms, a chance at a photo with Bucky himself, and all the Texas swag. Seriously, it's a cult following. Sherry and Heather stop by every year on our way to our annual team retreat in Green, Texas. Yes, they got a photo. Finally, coming in at number 1, I have to do what? All right, here's a truly Texas-sized surprise. In DFW, homeowners actually water their houses. Yep, you heard me right. Watering your house is a thing here. Texas sits on something called blackland prairie soil, a fancy term for clay-rich dirt that loves to expand and contract. When it's wet, it swells up like a sponge. When it's dry, it shrinks and pulls away from the foundation. And that's where the trouble starts. If the soil under your home dries out too much, it can create uneven support for your foundation. That means cracking, shifting, and even serious damage if left unchecked. Think of it like building a Lego house on Jell-O. It's going to wiggle around when things get dry. That's why you'll see so many Texans with soaker hoses snaking around their homes. The goal, keep the soil moisture consistent, especially during our scorching summers. It's less about watering the house itself and more about watering the soil that supports your house. Here's a pro tip, don't overdo it. Too much water can cause the soil to swell too fast or too much, which can also mess with your foundation. It's all about balance and giving your house a steady sip of water, not a flood. This is also why a lot of homes have gutters, or why you might want to consider them if your home doesn't already have gutters. It's to help with that moisture and make sure that there's not a torrential rain creating a rut around your home where water just sits for extended periods of time. Experts recommend setting up soaker hoses a foot or so away from the foundation and letting them run a few times a week during dry spells. That way, moisture stays even and you avoid those hairline cracks turning into major repairs. So watering your house, strange but true here in North Texas. And while it might sound silly at first, it's one of the best ways to protect your investment. Number 10, urban sprawl. You're closer to the neighboring town than you may realize. Number 9, true Texas natives, the common bugs and critters you'll run into. Number 8, bobcats. Yep, bobcats. There's always photos being posted on places like Facebook and Nextdoor groups, warning neighbors to watch out and keep their small pets indoors because somebody spotted a bobcat. Power surges. Make sure you have surge protectors for your important electronic devices, especially if you have the now rare luxury of working from home on your desktop. Number 6, monthly siren testing. It's important that they'll work when we need them, even if it's just for heavy winds. Number 5, power grid warnings. It gets hot and all Texans love their AC, but sometimes we have to budget our electricity a little. Number 4, solar panels. Not necessarily a benefit, so be sure you check with experts. Number 3, construction never ends. Lamb chop would be singing. This is the traffic jam that never ends, but it's worth it for the quality and safety of the roads. Number 2, Texas loves Texas. That's it. Number 1, your foundation needs proper watering. Too little or too much can cause problems. So there you have it. 10 things that now won't surprise you as a new homeowner in DFW.